Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. I'm going to be slowing down on my video making and blog posting in the weeks ahead, finishing the book so it's out once all the election fiasco stuff is wrapped up. My plan is to have the book out January 21st, at least in digital copy. So I need to be putting in the time, making sure it's finished by then. That's less than 2 months from today. The majority of it's written. I have to put some finishing touches and see exactly how it wraps up. January 21st is the day after Inauguration Day. By then, things should be finalized. That's why I'm saying that date. If there's still a fiasco up in the air then, and I don't think there will be, but if there is, then I might need a little bit extra time because I just want to make sure all that's wrapped up is in the book so the whole agenda can be shown very clearly. This book, it's going to be to wake up the masses, and the masses need to know what's going on with the rigged elections, the rigged news, the daily propaganda by the numbers. So anyway, since I'll be posting less, making less videos, I'll still be here. I'm not going to go away, but I'm just not going to have as much time. Since I'm going to be away, I want to recommend some blogs and video channels that I think are worth checking out. And maybe you're not following these people yet. You need to know about these channels. And I'm going to start with this man right here. His name's Jeremy White. He calls into my radio show, Fields of White. You've probably heard him speak before if you listen to my radio show every Wednesday night. He has taken this gematria knowledge and he has made money with it. And he now puts out a blog showing his decodes. His work, like mine, it's not an exact science. It's an ongoing study, but he's very thorough. He gets out a lot of the sports information. He covers college, pros. He's focusing the knowledge on sports, which is what a lot of you want me to do. So here's your hero right here, Jeremy White. He's been doing it. I've repped his blog before. Down in the description, I'm going to link every blog and YouTube channel that we talk about in this video. So I'll write Jeremy White, Fields of White, with the link to his blog. For all you sports fans, you want to be here. I got some more sports channels for you ahead. But again, you should bookmark these channels too. If I were you, I would go to this link and go to your bookmarks and add a bookmark. For those of you that want the sports decodes, Jeremy's always doing it. Tons and tons of posts here on sports, and as you can see, his posts are lengthy, they're thorough, there's a lot of information. So anyway, this is Jeremy White, Fields of White. All these blogs and YouTube channels are going to be linked in the description. Here's another channel. This is Brother Berg, Extra Capsa. He's got a video channel as well. Search Brother Berg, Extra Capsa. It should pop up. He found my work sometime in 2015, started his own blog. He's been blogging ever since 2015. Tons of knowledge. He covers the same types of topics I do. Covers the sports, the news, all of it. And he has a really brilliant mind. For those of you who think I'm, harsh, got a nasty personality, I'm not disagreeing with you. You might prefer Brother Berg because he's that more softer, tender, caring person. And oftentimes Brother Berg will text me and say, man, Zach, you got to lay off saying people need to be turned into fertilizer. You're turning all the truth seekers away. And, I appreciate that Brother Berg does that because I'm sure I am turning a lot of people away. But, sometimes I just speak with the real anger I feel inside. And, truth be told, there's a part of me that really does think all these truth haters in this world do need to be turned into fertilizer. But truth be told, I know plenty of people that need to be turned into fertilizer, and all I do is help them out. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes I just got to speak with the passion to get people's attention. Make them think about why I'm saying what I'm saying. But anyway, here's Brother Berg. He covers it all. A lot of times he'll follow my lead, but then he'll take something that I did, and with his mind, he'll go way further. Smarter guy than me, Brother Berg, right here. Here's another smarter guy than me, Dan Barrett. I think most of these people I'm about to recommend are smarter than me, honestly. Dan Barrett, another person who found my work. I think he found it in 2013 or 14. He found it a long time ago. And he's been decoding mostly sports, also some of the propaganda news. So if you're a sports fan, you're definitely going to want to bookmark this website. along with Brother Berg's website. I'd bookmark them all. They're all down in the description. Dan Barrett, he has a blog called The Mindless Freaks, mostly focused on sports, but he does a number of other things. He also has his YouTube channel, Dan Barrett, the author of Mindless Freaks. His YouTube channel only has 1,700 subscribers, which means, I really do think the majority of you who follow me for my sports picks. So if you follow me for the sports, you should definitely be following Dan Barrett because he focuses more on sports than me. Here's a very nice gentleman, a little bit more mature than me, a little bit older than me. He has taken this knowledge. He's built a very professional blog. He does some really brilliant research. This man has a lot of knowledge. He really connects the dots. The website's called The Deep Zone. The man's name is Tal. He comments on my blog. He follows there. This is another website to bookmark and follow. You guys won't even miss me when I'm gone. Between these websites I already showed you, they're covering all I'm covering and more. This man right here hasn't made a post since January 5th, 2016, and I hope he's out there doing all right. I haven't heard from him for a while. But this is Josh Stoss. He was the first person, once I started putting out this work, to find me, to reach out to me, to help me with the research. He asked me the question, I think it was 2013, maybe 2014. He asked me if I had ever thought to decode the words written out as numbers. And when he first asked me that, I was thinking, oh no, that would probably all be coincidence. Well, that was one of the most brilliant questions, and it opened up my mind further to this gematria research, because it's true. The way our words are written out are even coded. As, those of you who follow the work know. But it was Josh Stoss who once asked me that question in the very early days of this research. And I felt like Josh Stoss, because of his contributions when he was helping out, you can search his name. He has a YouTube channel as well. I don't think he's posted anything there in a while either. But he always made really brilliant observations, Josh Stoss. So grateful for Josh Stoss. Hope you're all right, Josh Stoss. Haven't heard from you for a while, man. You know what else Josh Stoss did? I want to tell you something else about Josh Stoss. He found my work, when I had no subscribers, hardly any blog traffic, and he just got all into gematria. And what he did in his community is he went and printed out all these gematria flyers and went all over neighborhoods and put them on car windows and put out his own phone number for people to call him back. And I think it actually, it was awesome that he did that, but I think it actually hurt his motivation because so few people responded. He put in all this time, he went everywhere, put out the flyers, and then hardly anyone responded, Testament to the times. People aren't truth-seeking. They're not caring about the truth. But that's what we're going to change, That was the barometer then. Things are already getting better now. So, Josh Stoss, we hope you come back. You guys should go back and check out his blog anyway. I'm going to link it down there. Just go back and see the old things he posted. He came up with all sorts of brilliant observations. This is one of 1,000. Here's another channel who's emerged recently. He's been complimenting my channel, which I appreciate. This guy has video making skills, something I don't. He knows how to make an actual video, and he has the nice narration, and he speaks well. He puts a really good informative video together, makes a lot of brilliant observations. He's been sharing knowledge about the numbers. I don't think he's doing any gematria yet. That might be strategic. Because honestly, most people, when they hear this gematria, I get comments like this all the time. I like your videos when you're speaking about things, but when you start to do these numbers, it seems a little bit loony or schizo. And I know that's just a typical American commenting. That's the way most people feel. I saw my sister over this Thanksgiving holiday. She's all upset about Donald Trump. I was trying to ease her pain, telling her it's all just a show. They're just trying to play with our heads and our emotions, so don't let them get you. And when I started to tell her about the commercial from 2010, she just got that, she got that American look, like in the eye and the face, like okay, let's, I can't go to this area, I don't want to think my world's this rigged, this crazy, numbers, So anyway, I just stopped the conversation there, there said, I've already been down this road with her before. Some people will only go so far. So anyway, this guy, Changing Reason, I think he's doing a good job of balancing his message, including knowledge about numbers, not quite teaching gematria yet, unless I missed it in a video he did. But anyway, definitely subscribe to this channel. He's only got 2,900 subscribers. No, this guy should already have 20,000 subscribers, the information he's putting out. It's amazing how slow these truth channels grow on YouTube. My channel grew at a snail's pace until the death of Prince. You know? Then people woke up because earlier in the year I said Prince better watch his ass. He might die. Right after Vanity. Here's another man I really like. He's working hard to put out videos. You know, I don't agree with him on everything that he says. But again, who agrees with everyone? But what I see in this guy is he's working hard to get out the truth. He's supporting me. He's putting out my work. I asked people to mirror my videos. He was one of the people I saw mirroring my videos. I didn't see a lot of people mirror my video after I asked them to, but I saw this man do it, and I really appreciate it. But anyway, I see him working hard to get out the truth. I think he's mostly on point. I think he's getting caught up in some of the other truth channel distraction things, but so is almost everyone else. So, not a big deal. But yeah, the Urban Disciples, I really like this guy. You know, he's putting out a ton of videos. And I think he's just like me. You know, he's legit. He's got time on his hands. He wants the truth out there, so he's working hard for it. I see that in him. Here's another channel. I'm sure most of you are so aware of this channel. They're more popular, more established. They've been here for a long time. I know a lot of you think Crow is a shill channel. And you know, Crow's another person I don't agree with on everything, but I think overall, if you're tuning into his show and listening to his overall message, what he's saying about the world, what's going on right now, you know, hard to disagree with. Almost everything he's saying is on point. Him and I have a very similar message. And the other thing I appreciate about Crow is he's really worked hard the entire time I've been out here to support my work. When I had no subscribers, he was already repping my channel. I think I had 500 subscribers, and Crow was telling people that they needed to check out my work. It was something new on the scene, and it was, that people needed to know about. So, the most interesting thing about Crow is the way he spells his name in Gematria, sums to 77, which goes nice with this 777. But again, sometimes things work out naturally this way. The 7s are coming to Crow. So I think listening to Crow, you know, it's only going to put you further ahead, especially if you're just waking up. Definitely a show worth checking out. And I think Crow's also another guy just honestly trying to make it on telling the truth. He has his own website now. If you listen to his podcast, he'll tell you about it. You can support his podcast. Help him speak truth. Another channel that I really appreciate, the Truth Virus. If you don't know the Truth Virus, you know, he's got a little potty mouth on him, but a lot of people like a potty mouth. Truth Virus is angry, frustrated as he should be, and, you know, every day he's calling out the lies. If you start to listen to his channel, he has some acronyms for things he routinely covers, like DIP. What DIP means is daily ISIS propaganda. Truth Virus loves to take apart the daily ISIS propaganda, which I appreciate because that's absolutely what it is. Oh. I also heard my sister yesterday express her fear for ISIS attack, you know, because she still believes the media is telling her the truth. She still hasn't figured it out. So anyway, people like my sister, they definitely need a little dose of dip. My sister would never let her children listen to the Truth Virus because he swears. And when she was younger and we were younger, we were around swearing and we swear. But anyway, she married into a family, became a whole different person. Anyway, she would never let her children listen to the Truth Virus because he swears. And I'm just bringing up this point because if you parent that way, if you're protecting your child from swearing, but also making sure that they don't know about what's really going on in this world, you know, they're probably going to grow up to be one of these program robots that you see floating around on the streets where you live. I bet most of you who are awake didn't have the best upbringing. You know, there's probably something that got you early in life. Sticks and stones, you know, break the bones. Words will never hurt you. If you listen to the Truth Virus, remember that phrase, because Truth Virus swears a lot. I think it's why he doesn't have as many subscribers as he deserves. But he's telling the truth. And the truth is more important than swear words, which should be the message for your kids. So here's another young man. He's found my work, Bobby Broussard, and he's sharing the gematria knowledge, which I really appreciate. I think he's doing good work. He's new at it, so he's making a lot of mistakes, but that comes with the territory. If you're studying gematria, the way to look at this is something that's new to the mainstream, and it's not even really mainstream, right? It's new to the general populace. And we are doing something, all of us who are working at decoding gematria, doing something that's unprecedented. So there's going to be mistakes that come along the way. And if you listen to any person who, tells you about how they got to where they were, they'll tell you they made it through mistakes. All of you who like sports, big Michael Jordan fans, what's his quote about mistakes? He never would have got where he was without making all the mistakes he made. So, a lot of you who speak and insult because things aren't 100%, all you're speaking out of, what you're expressing is ignorance. And when people come and validate your remarks and say, yeah, I feel the same way, all you've done is found another person in the world who's ignorant, small-minded, doesn't have a clue. And in the United States of America, that's most people. So it's easier to be ignorant and foolish and not know anything and speak with stupidity. So people right now are attacking him because he's been wrong about some things. What I would caution to him and people like Tony De Lorenzi is never speaking guarantees and absolutes. Yes, yours truly even sometimes says those words. But remember, and I see Bobby Broussard just speaking from the cuff too. I've never had any notes for any video. I just speak from the cuff in every video. Sometimes I misspeak. So you can check me, but again, I've also said a million times, none of this works a guarantee. There's no guarantees in sports, betting, gambling. Ultimately, a set of people hold the cards and they can pull strings the way they want them. And they might be able to pull strings in these rigged games even at last minutes, depending on how gambling is in Vegas. So Bobby Broussard. There's also Tony De Lorenzi. He found my work last year during the NFL playoffs. And before, here's what blew my mind about Tony De Lorenzi. His first comment that I remember was this gematria breakdown, this big gematria breakdown of why the Super Bowl was going to be Steelers and Cardinals. And I was wrong about the Panthers and Broncos. And, he did a really good decode, and I thought, who is this guy? I mean, I never heard of this guy before. And the next thing you knew, he was making YouTube videos and making gematria predictions. So anyway, I wondered, because I have so many trolls and shills, I was like, wow, did they have somebody make a YouTube account to kind of use gematria, but use it in a misleading way? And that was my initial instinct about Tony, that he was sent here to mislead. But over the last year's time, I see him working really hard, and I think he's sincere, and I think he's trying to do his best. He's also in college, going to school full-time, so I don't know how much time he has for this. But it's obvious to me that he's spending more time now just doing his own work with the knowledge set that he started with about a year ago, and he hasn't been watching so much of my work and learning from the improvement, because he's not using a lot of the newer techniques that lead to more accurate picks. And I've been asking Tony to slow down, do a little more research, and stop using the word guarantee so much. So anyway, look, Tony De Lorenzi, I don't think he's real reliable with his picks, but at the same time, if you want to learn, study gematria more and just see how people are applying it, not a bad person to follow, The more of us working together, the more ground we'll cover, the more we'll learn. So here's another channel, Russian Vids. This guy has like 5, 6, 7 videos that he's made in the last year and a half attacking me, slandering me, making stuff up about me. You know what? Russian Vids, though, one of the only channels with a lot of subscribers that is teaching about gematria. It's funny how he's slandering me while teaching him what he's learned from me. But anyway, ultimately, my purpose here is to spread gematria, and Russian Vids is spreading gematria. And my channel's still growing. I've lost some people along the way. You guys who listen to my radio show, you've probably heard the man Bart call in from Portland a lot. When Russian Vids first made his videos about me, Bart was a follower of my channel, and he believed what Russian Vids said, and all of a sudden he turned into attacking me and calling me out as a Satanist and all this stuff. And it took months for him to come back around and realize that Russian Vids was wrong what he said about me. But anyway, now Bart's one of my biggest supporters. He's given a ton of money. It makes me feel bad how much money he's given to the campaign. So far, about 320 out of the 35,000 people who follow me have contributed 320, and I'm grateful for all the contributions, but I'm wondering where the other 34,800 people are. You know? We're trying to take this world back. We're only going to do it if we have the resources to get the project really flowing. And we're making the project happen. It's coming. But you know what? Time is our enemy. And the more resources we have, the bigger we can do this, the quicker we can do this, the quicker we can start establishing real community, creating the truth seekerville that needs to exist. You know, we're going from the website to the app to organizing to starting with communities where people can actually move to and participate in and become something greater. If you missed my past work on the Truth Seeker Network Revolution, check that out. Big project, big vision to make this world right. And anyway, with that in mind, when I've talked about that project, I've said, look, everybody who's truth seeking needs to come together under this movement, work together, find common ground. So we need even people like Russian Vids, you know, to be a part of it. And I know Russian Vids wants to be a part of it because here he's started. I mean, if you focus on his content now, it's become mostly about the numbers. And where did he learn that from? You know? By the way, Russian Vids, he sent me a message about a year ago, and he said he'd take down his videos about me if I admitted the earth was flat. And I said to him, I said, man, that's so ridiculous. If that's really what this is all about, just take down the videos. I'm not going to admit that the earth's flat because I don't know that the earth's flat. I said, if you know that the earth's flat, prove it to me. I said, go rent a drone and fly it into the firmament. Show me how the sun sets behind the horizon. Show me why when I stand on top of the mountain with a super powerful telescope, I can't track the sun across the flat earth all day. When somebody shows me those things, you know, then I'll say that, yeah, the earth's flat. I've been deceived. And I'm at the same time, I'm not saying that the earth is what we're told it is. You know, long before the flat earth theory came around, I was telling people about the lie of the sun and 93 million miles and the significance of 93. So anyway, as I talk about Russian Vids, my point is, you know, we need to stop fighting and start working together. Russian Vids is spreading gematria, so even though he's made himself my enemy, you know, trying to portray it that way, he's really helping me get out the word. So thank you, Russian Vids. I almost feel like I should subscribe to his channel, but then it would always come up in my feed that Zachary K. Hubbard is a Satanist, you know? That video comes up enough in my feed. Here's RFG Chosen One. This is another person who about a year ago was following my work and commenting and helping and spreading the knowledge about gematria. And then this year he started attacking me, which was interesting. But anyway, RFG Chosen One. I think this young man, you know, I think somehow this guy is connected to Freemasonry. I don't think he's like that far in the gang. I don't exactly know what it is with this young man. There's something interesting about him, but I think he's smart. And I think the majority of his work is on point. Like all people, I don't agree with him on everything. I also know that he has a dishonesty problem a little bit, but he's young. And, you know, he'll grow out of his ego and his dishonesty. I think in 10 years' time, he'll probably be an upstanding individual. He's almost 10 years younger than me. But anyway, he's been this year making videos and trashing gematria. I just want to remind RFG and all of his followers that last year he made his Super Bowl pick based on gematria, and the only person teaching it at that time was me. So if RFG can come around and be a little more humble and honest and say he's about truth and not himself, you know, I think this is another channel worth following and another person who should be part of the All for Truth community we're building, you know. He says that he wants to build a better world, community, take it back. So he should be in the cause, and he should stop fighting with me needlessly and trashing gematria, which I know he knows is valuable. Let's listen to him in his own words. Last year, talking about why he picked a Panthers and Broncos Super Bowl.
But one other thing that I've learned, you know, through this whole conscious journey is how to decode and study numerology and how to use gematria. And one thing that is very interesting when you look at this year's Super Bowl, Super Bowl 50, okay, as far as numerology is concerned.
So, you know, there he is a year ago saying how he got to this pick. A year later, he's saying gematria is garbage and using what was my backup pick for the Super Bowl. In February, I wrote about why the Super Bowl would be Giants and Colts, and I said why I thought the NFC Championship would likely be Giants, Vikings, And in the AFC, Colts, Patriots. That's what I envisioned then, you know? So anyway, he came out with a book, or not a book, a video in the summer saying that gematria was trash, and I told people the wrong Super Bowl. It wasn't going to be Colts-Giants, it was going to be Colts-Vikings. And on my blog, I had written that, you know, if I'm wrong about the Giants, there's a slight narrative for the Vikings, especially after Prince died. And I put out that research in February 2016. RFG came in July, August, you know, attacking. And then using the pick that I wrote about potentially in February. So, you know, again, RFG's young. He's trying to sell merchandise. He's trying to get his name out there. This is the way the world is, you know. RFG is behaving with behaviors that are brought into this world. And what I'm saying again to RFG, and I've said before, is, look, man, you don't have to fight against me. We can work together. I bet you if we work together, you know, we'll do even better. Find that word synergy. So RFG Chosen One, I think his information's worth checking out. I think he's pretty interesting. I think he's a good speaker. He needs to work on his honesty and his humility. Now here's another channel, you know, he deleted all of his videos. He's done this before. He's deleted his channel. He's deleted his videos. He had about 10 videos about me too, attacking me, attacking gematria. He had a video called Gematria's Bullshit. He had a video called Fuck Gematria Math Class. And, you know, here's what I thought about this guy, honestly. I first found this channel when somebody who follows my blog commented, hey, have you heard of Polarization Nation? I think he's learning about gematria because he included a little bit in his own video. And the person linked the video. So I clicked on the video, watched the video, and I saw the introduction to gematria that he talked about. He talked about the number 38, letters into words. So I commented, I said, hey, thank you for sharing gematria. I said, here's some other good 38 words you might want to talk about. And he commented back something like, oh, I already know all that, and I forget what he said. It was just like, I was like, what? I was just trying to give you some information, and he responded like he didn't need my information, and he didn't need my comment. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm not going to follow this channel. But I was thinking, why did he respond that way? Because when I watched his video, I thought, wow, this guy's got good video editing skills. He's a pretty good speaker. He's got knowledge. So then anyway, around Super Bowl time, he started putting out videos attacking me last year, and all these, it seemed like spam bots, because he only had like 3,000 subscribers at the time. All these spam bots all over my channel saying I was plagiarizing his work. I was like, what is going on? Plagiarizing his work? I've been talking about the Broncos and the Super Bowl since October. So anyway, I tried to reach out to this guy and get him to chill out, but he just showed me, you know, I don't know. He just wanted to fight with me for some reason. So anyway, the thing is, look, I don't know exactly what's up with some of these people. When you watch this guy's videos and the information he's putting out, I would say it's mostly helpful. It's beneficial to the cause. He's speaking mostly truth. I imagine maybe this guy is just angry like I am. Like he's fed up with the world. He's fed up with other people. He doesn't trust anyone. But anyway, if this is what's going on, like, some of you need to chill out then, I guess, and realize, like, is everybody your enemy? For the most part, I try to be cool with everyone and nice to everyone and helpful until they start attacking me and slandering me and coming after me. Polarization Nation, I tried to be nice to him at the beginning. And for some reason, he wanted to be my enemy. So anyway, if he comes back and starts making videos again, you know, I hope he hears my words, and instead of insulting gematria, I wish he would just continue to teach it as he did sometime, maybe it was November, December of 2015. I know he's aware of it, so I don't know why make this video fuck gematria, just like RFG did, when a year ago they were starting to share the knowledge. Things that don't make sense about that. And, you know, here's another channel. This person's been making multiple videos coming after gematria and trying to get my attention. This person is an example of what's happened now with about at least 20 people that I'm aware of in the time I've been making videos and having a blog. This man, when he found my work, he was making awesome comments, decoding things, showing parallels. I know this person's very smart. And he also kept commenting that he wanted me to plug this, truth rapper. His name is Payday Monsanto, I think. And he just kept posting that I should plug Payday Monsanto. And I said, well, honestly, man, I hardly listen to any music because my ear rings all the time. So my ears ring since I was 22 years old. True story. It started just after New Year's, like a week after New Year's. All of a sudden, my ears started ringing. It's never stopped. It's like after you go to a rock concert. So anyway, listening to music and stuff, it's never been as enjoyable. I mean, I still like music, but it just makes my ear ring more. So I have to deal with that. So anyway, I don't listen to that much music anymore. And this guy wants me to plug this musician that I don't exactly know about. And I said, well, why is his name Payday Monsanto? I mean, why put the name Monsanto in there? So I said, I don't know enough about this guy for me to plug it. And anyway, because I wouldn't plug the musician, and then because I stopped responding to his comments just constantly about plugging Payday Monsanto, then he started to say that I was a shill, and I was just here trying to deceive people, and gematria was bullshit. Then next thing you knew, he was making videos and linking them, spamming them all over to, everyone watch my video about how Zachary K. Hubbard's a fraud. Here's my message for people like Mark DeIlly. Look, I try to respond to everyone's comments. Look at what I do all day. I have to work a little bit on the side to make enough money to pay my meager bills. That's how it is right now. Plus, in addition to that, I have a girlfriend. I have to maintain my house, keep up the yard, clean, do all the things you do, make food, eat. Pretty much in all my spare time, I work hard at decoding the news, keeping up with all the bullshit going on, which I can't stand to follow, and then making the videos so people will actually get to the information. I had a blog before I had a video channel for a year. Almost nobody followed the blog. When I started making videos, people came to the blog. Anyway, I try to respond to everyone as much as I can. And I only have so much time. I get so many emails, comments. I have multiple emails that people send to. There's just so much information coming at me. And just in addition to keeping up with almost everything I'm trying to keep up with, so many people over the last year who've helped out and had communication, because I haven't responded to their messages or their comments, they've turned and then they've started attacking. And the reason I've noticed this pattern is like this. As when you make YouTube channels, in your comments, you can go through your comments. Like I can search the name Mark DeIlly. And Mark DeIlly, if you go through his comment history, all these helpful comments for months' time. And then it came to plugging Payday Monsanto, and there's some conversations, where I commented back. And then there's a lot of posts by him, why aren't you plugging Payday Monsanto, where I don't comment back. And then the transition from there is over time, then he has all these comments attacking me. So you can see how the psychology of this went. Everything was cool when I was commenting back, following him. But then he wanted me to do something that I didn't want to do necessarily, didn't have the time to do, didn't know if it was the right thing to do. And because of that, then all of a sudden I'm his enemy. And it's not just him. There's so many people who have done that on my YouTube channel. And when you plug in their names as I can and just follow the comment history and the way this has gone, it's just easy to see how it unfolded. And for some of those people, it's not even that they were asking me to do something, it's just that they had a bunch of comments over time that I didn't see. That's the other thing. I get so many comments, I don't have time to go through them all. I mean, if I was going through everybody's comments, there'd be no blog content, there'd be no videos. All I'd be doing is responding to everyone's comments all day. Emails, messages, I'm one man. I have one set of hands. I have, two eyeballs, two ears. One of them hardly works. The right one rings all the time. So anyway, Mark DeIlly. Dude, why not make some videos sharing the gematria knowledge that you have? Why make videos about how gematria is for frauds? If you watch all of his videos, he's like, I've predicted everything right for like the last decade about every single thing that ever happened, and I don't even know about gematria. I mean, what is that? Dude, what is that? I'm going to plug his channel anyway. I want this guy in the All for Truth community because I know he's smart and I know he can help out. And I just want people like him to wake the fuck up. I mean, dude, I can't just focus on Mark DeIlly, what he wants all the time, or what this other person wants all the time. There's a dude over in London who used to help me out. He even made a channel called Symbol Seeker. He liked the word truth seeker. He wanted to do the work. And then he wanted me to plug this British truth rapper who I didn't know about either. And I said, man, I said, I guess I could, but I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what these people's message really is. And I don't even have the time to listen. Well, maybe that's my fault. Maybe I should have listened. Maybe these people are mad for a reason. But it's like, look, you guys, I wanted to promote something. I had to start from nowhere. When I first came here, the only comments I got was that I was schizophrenic, a lunatic, crazy person, tinfoil hat. You know, I had to keep working until finally some people who cared showed up. If you really want to promote Payday Monsanto and he has the message, why don't you do it? You know? That's the thing about givers and takers. See, like I think this person's part giver. He came and contributed knowledge, but he really wanted me to do something for him. And then when that didn't happen, I was the biggest asshole in the world. Also, you guys, just go through the channels I'm subscribed to. If you look at my channel, I think all the people I'm subscribed to, for the most part, are trying to do a good job. Sorry if there's channels I should have plugged that I didn't. I feel like there's some other blogs, channels out there that I definitely should be plugging. I know some other people are doing the gematria work. Dimitri. His last name is so long that I don't even know how to spell it out. But if you go through the channels I'm subscribed to, check out Dimitri. Dimitri's got a podcast type show going, always got a lot of good news and content. There's other people who I need to plug. But anyway, in this video, I just wanted to say, like, you know, there's other people out here doing the work, other channels worth checking out. I'm going to link them all in the description. Till next time, Truth Seeker Core. I also better give Gary the Numbers Guy a little bit of attention. Since the end of the World Series, he's been attacking myself and gematria. You know, this is a guy who knows his numerology. If you want to learn more about numerology, check out Gary's channel. He is more of a numerology expert than me. But what I'd say about Gary is he's charging people money for his work, and his picks in the time I've been doing this aren't as accurate as mine. I do this as just part of the work I'm doing. I don't focus on the sports. I don't follow the sports. I don't watch the sports. But from what I do know and what I am aware of, I can often see who the championships are being riddled for months in advance. And, you know, Gary's taking this approach to focusing on where I've been wrong. But what wise man does that? You know, every time I've made a mistake, I've made my research better. You know, that's what you're supposed to do. Learn from your mistakes. Gary talks about how wise he is. I don't know how he doesn't know that piece of being wise. Learning from your mistakes. What all wise men do. So, you know, Gary the Numbers Guy. He's got a 33 tattooed on his bicep. He lives in Cleveland. He says gematria is a joke. I wonder if he knows if gematria is the truth. Cleveland, one of the only cities in the nation that sums to 33. I think Gary, also like RFG, is somehow hooked up with Freemasonry. And perhaps just because I speak against Freemasonry, perhaps that gives them the motivation to come after me. So, you know, might all be with the territory. But yo, Gary the Numbers Guy, honestly, I'm putting up a free website, you know, well, raised from the campaign money for Truth Seekers. He also attacked my campaign in one of his videos. But yo, Gary, this thing that I'm building, you're welcome to be a part of it. Honestly, you're welcome to come there and promote your numerology thing. Gary wrote me a private message and told me that he's only made $35,000 to date off of his knowledge. So if this is what he does for a living, I mean, he's scraping by $35,000 over a number of years trying to teach something. That's not too impressive. You know, my advice to Gary is maybe apply the gematria knowledge and get some more clients, you know? Looks like you only got 2,000 subscribers right now. So if you guys want to check out Gary the Numbers Guy, you know, I will link his channel in the description too. I want everybody to be a part of the truth team. I'm tired of fighting with all these people, you know. You know? If you subscribe to Gary, though, just caution. I'm not sure that Gary's so on point about things. He thinks the elections are legitimate. He thinks sports are legitimate. He thinks it's just the numerology dictating what happens in the games naturally. Some of you think that that's the same too, so maybe your minds will agree more with Gary. And again, that's why we need to be part of this truth community and figure out what the ultimate truth is. But Gary, if you're here for the truth, you know, You should apologize. In the last year, I've called all the sports championships correctly. You've only called one. And my basketball pick, which is your bread and butter, was better than yours, let's be honest. Gary says that he's the best at picking the NBA Finals. Well, at the beginning of the season, I said it would be Cavs over Warriors in a repeat. Gary said it was going to be Cavs over Thunder. You know, he got it right. The Cavs won, breaking the curse, but he didn't have the right opponent. And what's funny is in the World Series, he's saying I'm a fraud because I picked Cubs over Astros in spring training, and he's saying because I picked Astros, that's proof I'm a fraud. So, you know, I want to help Gary out. I want to help him become more logical. If he thinks I'm a fraud, then he's also telling, you know, his people that he's a fraud. And I don't want to say he's a fraud. I don't know that he's a fraud. I think he's hooked up with the gang. But I think like any man, he can right his wrongs. So there it is, Truth Seeker. Until next time.